For the latest edition of the VINwiki survey panel, I asked my friends what is the greatest movie car scene of all time. Their answers were wonderful, but for me, nothing tops The Rock. That scene of Nicolas Cage in a Ferrari 355 Spider chasing down Sean Connery in a Hummer through the streets of San Francisco is just unparalleled. But these are their answers, and I hope that you enjoy it. Let us know in the comments what you think the greatest car movie scene of all time is. And today's video is made possible by the Ticket Clinic. When you get a ticket, no matter where it happens, it's more important than ever to fight every one. And the perfect partner in that fight in any state is the Ticket Clinic. They've got brick and mortar offices in Georgia, Florida, and California, but they've got representatives that can help you around the country. So check them out now at the link in the description below to fight your ticket with the Ticket Clinic.
You can have your bullets and you can have your vanishing points, but I'm going with It's a Mad, 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 Mad World from 1963. Multiple car chases in unprepped American land yachts. I mean, beside being one of the greatest comedies ever, essentially the whole movie is a chase scene. It's the film that made me as a kid want to become a stunt driver, and I may have recreated one or two of those scenes over the years. Allegedly.
Now, the best movie car scene, in my opinion, is the scene where a Lamborghini Murcielago in Fast and Furious 8 goes into the water after being chased by a nuclear submarine. Now, this is the actual engine from that car, and I own that car, and I own the stunt car, and I really miss that car because it's not in my garage, but that is my favorite of any automotive film.
It's hard to say what is the best movie car scene of all time. I think it's a toss-up between the Italian Job, the famous Mura scene, but definitely what has my heart is Cannonball Run with an original Countach in 1981.
It's gotta be, for me, the Countach skipping across the lake scene, which is the intro to the movie Speed Zone. Totally underrated film, actually, as far as both comedy, ensemble cast, and car guy cred goes. But I love that scene, and it's a fun movie, and it's a great way to open it.
All right, now the default should be going to Fast and the Furious, you know, the most successful car franchise of all time. Well, it's not. For me, we're talking about Bad Boys, and we're talking Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, Porsche 911 Turbo, and the Shelby Cobra 427 on the runway, zipping their way down. Only one's making it through the wall. We know who we want it to be, and that's who it ends up being.
In the movie Speed Zone, also known as Cannonball Run 3, and in the intro, there's a red Countach being chased by police on a dirt road, and the Countach comes up to a lake and skips across the lake like skipping a stone, and that right there has to be the greatest car scene in any movie, period.
Being British, my favourite has to be The Italian Job. The three iconic classic minis through the streets of Italy. It could not get any better.
The greatest car chase scene in movie history for me has to be the first 20 minutes of the movie Six Underground. I love watching that Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio rip through the streets of Florence, Italy, one of my favorite cities in the entire world. Do yourself a favor, pull up that, and you'll have a lot of fun watching it.
For me, the greatest movie car scene of all time is not a car chase. It is the time machine reveal from the movie Back to the Future. As you're standing there with Doc Brown in the mall parking lot and the back of his van opens up to reveal a DeLorean time machine as it rolls down with all the smoke and the out-of-time license plate, you really know that this is going to be an incredible adventure. So the time machine reveal from the movie Back to the Future is one of the best.
Best movie car scene of all time has got to be that Corvette ZR1 chase in Last Stand. Worst movie car scene of all time has got to be when that friggin' diesel van guy puts the Corvette off the cliff in Triple X. Because the Corvette C5s are priceless. You should never destroy one, even for a movie.
Now, despite the car behind me, I am not going to answer the movie Bullet for this question. No, the answer for me is the movie Vanishing Point, and specifically the ending and beginning scenes, because they're the same but different. In fact, the whole movie is a lot more car-centric than the movie Bullet anyway, because it features a 1970 Challenger that is supposedly supercharged and a guy who's literally just on drugs, running from the cops, practically the entire movie, driving the living crap out of the car. But the interesting part is, like I said, it starts with the ending of the movie, but then ends with the ending differently. It's a really cool take on a car movie. It's worth a shot. Check it out.
So I'm probably going to be in the minority here as far as opinions are concerned on the greatest movie car scene. But the scene from The Matrix 2, with that car scene, it honestly was a mind-blowing experience. I had seen other movies with, car chase scenes. Obviously, Bullet is a classic, but the second Matrix car scene is bananas. It is one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time, hands down.
This has got a lot of competition, but being in Brooklyn and knowing exactly where they filmed it, I got to go with the French Connection. I mean, just an amazing amount of work, and the logistics alone, plus the fact that they did it without any permits. So that's got my best bet.
Anything Back to the Future is so obvious. It's been so strong with the pop culture that, I will pick the opening of Quantum of Solace, a James Bond film, starting straight after Casino Royale. That is, by the way, the sequel of it. It's the only James Bond that has a sequel. I love the way it goes. It's just cool. I like it. I picked this one.
My vote goes for the 1976 French short film by Claude Lelouch entitled C'était un rendezvous. Pardon my French, I do not speak French, but this short 8.5-minute film is something you will not ever regret watching.
The best movie car scene, in my opinion, is in The Dark Knight when Bruce Wayne is driving a Mercy LP640. It was sad that the car crashed, but I just remember it being so epic that Batman was driving a Lamborghini LP640. It was so cool.
Not the politically correct answer, I know, but for me as a child of the 80s, it has to be the General Lee.
My first thoughts are the Lamborghini intros from the Cannonball Run movies and the hilarious Blues Brothers Mall scene. But for me, I'm going to pick the resurrection scene from Christine. Not only is it a dark, sinister, even sexy scene, but it was done with practical effects, which is incredible. It's just a cool scene from a cool movie, and I think it communicates love of cars, love of a car, better than any movie scene ever has.
Now, what better way to introduce a movie scene than to actually stand in front of the movie car itself? Now, this is Shaker from Shaker Run. 1985 New Zealand movie, really quite a good film. This car is like the protagonist. The whole film is about basically this being chased through the whole of New Zealand. So it's got some good scenery, so some amazing stunts. It's not a fantastic film, it is of its time, but it's still great. Now, this is Fiberglass Transit, based on a Holden HQ, and it was the stunt car in the movie. It's a fun movie, you'll enjoy it. It's got the best car sales scene you'll ever see in any movie ever.
Favorite things for me all kind of emanate from a coming of age time, and that for me was like 12, 13 years old. And the movie Hooper is one of the formative car movies for me. One of my favorite scenes from that, there's so many, the rocket car scene, the initial scene where he's like belting up, and you see how broken he really is as a stuntman. But my favorite scene in that movie is when they're driving along in the truck, they flip it around backwards, they're going 55 miles an hour backwards, and they give a beer to the girls in the back of the Subaru Brat. Awesome scene.
This scene is an underdog just like Rocky was in Rocky 4. So this is when he hops into his black Lamborghini Yalpa at night to go out for a drive to clear his head. You got the clickety-clack of the gated shifter, the engine and exhaust sound, all of this to the background of some good cheesy 80s soundtrack music. This is really what sealed the deal for this 11-year-old kid for his love for a Lamborghini.
Greatest movie car scene, in my opinion, has to be from the original Gone in 60 Seconds. I believe that scene is something like 40 minutes long, and they destroyed like 100 cars in one chase scene. I'm not sure if that was a record, but that's a lot, and it's one of my favorites for sure.
I think one of the greatest movie car scenes of all time has got to be from Against All Odds, a 1983 film where James Woods is in a black Ferrari 308 with a white Samoyed puppy in the passenger seat, and Jeff Bridges is in a Guards Red 911 SC Cabriolet. And these guys are just going neck to neck on these, Southern California side streets, and just really cool to see these two cars neck to neck in period. And I just really love that a lot.
Any Mad Max chase.
What's the greatest movie car scene? Well, the movie The Blues Brothers is basically one big car chase. But in the final scene, they wrecked 60 police cars and had 40 stunt drivers just in that one scene. They actually had a 24-hour body shop to try to repair these cars.
Throughout the movie, they destroyed 103 cars, which was a record that stood for almost 20 years.
The original H.B. Halicki's Gone in 60 Seconds scene where it's 65, 70 minutes of nothing but him crashing that one and only Mustang Eleanor. So that is the greatest one. Remember, that was the first one, and that was filmed on live highways when CHP wasn't working on the weekends. So yeah, great story all around. Real crashes. They really did smash all those cars, and they really only used one Mustang. Pretty impressive stuff. So way better than what's ever being produced today.
Greatest movie car scene has to be from Ronin from 1998, directed by John Frankenheimer, who also directed Grand Prix back in the 60s. The scene I love is in downtown Paris. I don't know how they got permission to shoot it, but there are over 100 stunt drivers driving in the scene with Robert De Niro and Jean Reno chasing an E34 M5. The whole movie is awesome for car lovers. Definitely check it out.
Frankenheimer's 1998 Ronin. De Niro in a Peugeot 406 chasing Jonathan Pryce in an E34 BMW M5 through Paris, weaving in and out of oncoming traffic. The chase sequence required 300 stunt drivers. There's no CGI or special effects to use, just raw driving and real wrecks.
My favorite movie car scene's got to be the chase scenes from Bullet, with that Highland Green GT390 fastback getting chased by that 440 68 Charger. I don't think there's a better chase scene than that. I don't think there's even a better movie scene than that. Steve McQueen just does it so well.
All right, so Smokey and the Bandit. They're driving that big, beautiful Trans Am with the fire chicken on the hood down that dirt road, and then they come to the sign at the fence that says the bridge is out. And Burt Reynolds goes, that's not good. So he does a 180, heads back the other way, and there are the police. So they're thinking, and he goes, and that's worse. So he does another 180, floors it, and then just smashes through the fence, and then just sails that big, beautiful Trans Am right over to the other side.
For me, the best scene in a car movie, it's a toss-up between Le Mans with Steve McQueen and, of course, the movie Grand Prix with James Garner of the mid-1960s Formula One season. It's too hard to pick one, but getting toward the end of Le Mans, after Steve McQueen had wrecked his Porsche 917 for making a mistake, he was very honest. He told the guy, I made a mistake, I wrote it off. Man, that really was character building for Steve McQueen's character, Michael Delaney, and he was out. But the pit boss, the crew chief, he realized the other person wasn't fit, he wasn't trying hard enough, so he went back to Michael Delaney, Steve McQueen's character, who took accountability and put him in the car, and Michael Delaney got in it and just hammered it for the best ever battle at the end. And you know what? He didn't win. His teammate did. So there was just so many great statements and character building at that time that it absolutely is. And of course, you got to like the bow fingers at the end for the Englishman.
The beginning of Cars 1, when the song Real Gone plays, right at the beginning where they have the opening race, it's just a sensational scene, and it really has stayed with me for a very long time. I still love the song. I listen to it a lot even to this day, and it has a very, very special place in my heart because I think that's a point where my enthusiasm for cars definitely began.